Hello, everybody. Welcome back to book club meeting number 3 on Atomic Habits for James Clear. This week, Brett is out. He died, but he'll respawn next week. Joseph
He's a
got his
gamer.
voice back. Joseph's voice respawned.
Finally.
So Joseph
Yeah,
got it.
it decided to come back.
Yeah. And Blake is leading off this week.
Yay. Okay. Well, I didn't read. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't take any notes, but I'll try to. Oh, I had a point though.
Go on.
What was the first thing? Oh, okay. So I think it was chapter 4, where it was talking about like make a little checklist of your daily activities or something like that.
Yeah, the habit scorecard.
Yeah. So I started one, and it was depressing because I have very like mundane habits right now.
Yeah.
Let's see what I wrote down in my little notes.
I haven't done mine yet either. I need to do mine.
I'm pulling it up. I didn't score it or like say if they were good or bad necessarily. I just like wrote down what I do.
Wake up, eat, sleep.
Let's see. Wake up. I check the time on my phone. And then I usually go I go back to bed. And then I wake up again and I check the time again.
I do that too.
And
it's so hard to wake up at the same time.
I sit up and look at my phone and look at Discord. And then I take a shit. Then I get out of bed. I shower. I brush my teeth. And then I get food, and then I get on the computer, and then there's a really long time span between on the computer and going to bed, and then I go to bed, and then it repeats. So that's like my current schedule. And occasionally there's some different stuff thrown in there, but I feel like that's like my core programming right there. So yeah, I don't know how negative or positive. I would say most of them are neutral, except for like maybe I guess the computer one, since most of my time spent on the computer is like just sort of mindless consumption.
Yeah.
So that's probably negative.
I can attest to that. I'm on my phone a lot. I get yelled at for that.
I don't do very much productive things on the computer most of the time.
Oh, you get yelled at?
Yeah, I get yelled at for being on my phone too much.
Yeah.
Like by Roy?
Yeah, I yell at him. I'm like, get off your damn fucking thing.
And then I told him if I gotta give up phone, he's gotta give up video games.
I'd fucking just lay in bed for the entire day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do with like that much spare time, honestly.
You know, with the book club though, I don't know, I have a bit more of a regular reading habit. Like instead of watching YouTube. I mean, I'll still watch YouTube, but like instead of watching a lot of YouTube, I'll watch slightly less and then read.
Yes, slightly.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I hated reading, and now I'm actually starting to enjoy it. So
yeah,
it's because school like conditions us to hate reading. It's their fucking fault, man.
I'm reading like this book, you know, for the meetings, and then I'm reading 2 other books right now. I'm reading like this history book, Guns, Germs, and Steel, and then I'm reading like a Stephen King novel that I got from my grandmother. It's like Salem's Lot. And I don't know if you guys have read that, but the place is called Jerusalem's Lot. But they call it Salem's Lot for short, but would it not just be pronounced Salem's Lot? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Jerusalem, Salem. I don't know. Anyways,
that's
the
true
book,
because like when they say Salem, right, it makes you think of like the Salem witch trials and not like Jerusalem at all.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. But okay, and the other, I'm looking at the little chapter summary to try to jog my memory. The other thing I liked from this chapter 4, I think, was the pointing and calling, because actually it reminded me some of these habits that I do, like specifically it mentioned getting up when you get up from a table and then you check if you left anything. I noticed, like, I don't know what started it, but I do that every time after I've been like sitting somewhere. I always like inspect the bench and the ground, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it was just interesting to see that, like, because I never really thought about it until the book
Yeah.
explicitly mention it, but the pointing thing I like before you, it's sort of in the same vein. Like before you leave, you like see if you do a little mental checklist, or maybe you say it out loud. I don't know.
That's what I have to start doing. I actually started doing that. I was gonna talk about that one, but it's all right. Like you can ask Roy. Like in the morning, I forget everything. I'll forget my wallet. I'll forget my keys. So I gotta wake up. And say, I'm gonna get my keys. Go get my keys. I'm gonna go get my wallet because like I'll forget everything. I'm horrible at memory
Yeah.
in the morning.
Usually
Yeah,
when
it's-
I leave, I fucking like I physically like grab this like stuff in my pockets. I'm like, okay, I got my keys, I got my phone, I got my wallet.
I know. I'll wake up. I'll go to work and have to turn back around once I'm driving 10 minutes down the road and come back and get my stuff. I'm bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you did that like 2 days ago. You got your wallet.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll say one more thing about the next chapter, and that is, I like specifically the point that he makes where like the habit stacking thing. That seems like a pretty promising way to start a habit.
Mhm.
Like doing something after or before, whatever, like doing something on top of a thing that you already do. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know. I really like it. Like, I don't know. If trying to think of an example. Like, well, specifically for Connor, he mentions that to maintain like an eating schedule, he like he'll always eat at the same time, but like a habit of going to, if you go to the gym, then you can sort of stack on like eating dinner after you go to the gym. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to maintain that sort of regular whatever.
Yeah. I
But
definitely
yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, I definitely like the habit stacking because my life is kind of like chaotic. I've never been a very orderly person, so I can't do something at like a fixed time. And like, so like time is like a cue to do a habit is like the worst thing ever. But
Yeah.
doing like other things, well, for example, like I started doing just like light exercise just because I'm trying to build like my like messed up abdominal muscles. And so when the first like meal, like actual meal of the day, I do my exercise before I eat. So like I'll prepare, make the food and everything, and I'll just go set it down and I do like my light exercises and then I eat afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm like habit stacking it before like my first meal of the day, and it's been helping out a lot.
True. I think, I don't know. I don't really work out regularly, but I am like sort of trying to figure out a way to make it consistent. Because I mean, I have previously, but usually I don't know. I just hate like actual exercise, like doing these repetitive things or whatever. I don't know. I usually like play. Like there's only a couple things that I don't mind doing, and it's hard to like stick to doing that one thing over and over again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like for example, the cardio. Like I tried running and I hate it. And I guess it's because I wasn't used to it, but I would always have like pretty bad knee pain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like after running.
You might have to like hydrate a lot more before you do like your cardio and stuff, and you might actually be kind of like running wrong.
Yeah, that's what was one idea. Is like I don't have good form, but
Yeah, because most people like kind of like naturally want to like stick their leg like straight out, and that like puts so much stress on your joints. You kind of like when you're jogging and running, you kind of want to always have like a bend in your knees, so it's like the pressure doesn't go straight to your joint, like to your knee joint.
yeah, but I hated it. But I liked instead I started like jumping rope,
Mhm.
or skipping rope, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I like that, and that's something that I used to do whenever I was working out a bit more consistently.
You're in
So,
like a Rocky
fig-
Balboa.
Yeah, well,
Movie.
that's what I was doing. I was doing like some boxing training, and that was part of it. Is like you would jump rope for like 20 minutes
Oh,
to
okay.
warm up, and then I was like, and then when I stopped doing the boxing thing, I kept jumping rope because I don't know, it's a good way to get your heart rate up. And like I said, I hate running, so
Yeah.
I did that. But I don't know. I like this book so far because it's giving like a lot more specific things you could do to try to work into your actual life, like habits. Because usually I just say I want to do something and then I don't really know how to actually start it. You know what I mean? Like actually do it.
Yeah, no, I get you.
But this has like some good things. I don't know.
Yeah, I especially like the one part in the book where he talks about how you could just kind of like put. Well, I think one of the specific things he says, well, is like you start a habit of like you wake up and like make your bed. You could put like a book on your pillow, and it's like a way to be a cue for you to read when you like get into bed and stuff.
Yeah.
And like the more you have like the cues all over your room, I have books all over my room, which is probably why I read a lot more nowadays than I used to, because I have like 2 books on my desk. I have like a book next to my desk. I have my little shelf for books like right next to my desk too. So I have like books all over the place. And usually when I just like get bored, not doing anything, I'll just pick up a book and just start like reading. So yeah.
I think that's all my notes. Oh, I'm a bit. I'm farther away from my mic. That's all. That's all my things.
Okay.
I remember.
So does Joseph?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. There's 2 things I wanted to talk about. One, you were talking about how you were mentioning earlier, like environmental cues. I thought is in chapter 6, interesting thing they were referring to work at, how what they do at the grocery store is a placement of what's in like eyesight of you, or like eye level is what you most commonly impulse buying, and thinking about that, like if you have stuff you want to do, if you have it out there in front of you, you're more likely to do it. And then also the environmental cueing thing was pretty interesting too, like setting up separate areas or separate areas where you do stuff. I would actually try doing it myself. Like, I'll go outside the room, got a little futon out there. I'll sit down, listen to music, and read out there. And I'm more engaged, more interested in reading versus just sitting in the room or on the bed. It's harder to do it in the bed versus having an area where you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting
Mm-hmm.
to do stuff. And then I believe it was in the last thing I'll talk about is in chapter 7, where they're talking about like your sensory and how fast the brain can process stuff. One thing I really saw was interesting, they did an experiment with cocaine addicts. They were saying in there where they would flash an image of the drug for 33 milliseconds. You can't even perceive it, just be a flash of light. But these people would instantly crave the drug and couldn't explain why that they had that craving, even though all they saw was like a flash of light. And that just goes to show you like how quickly your brain can process stuff and how big visual keys are a thing for you to process. I thought that's pretty cool.
Was that in the book, or did you just hear about that?
No, that was in
No,
it.
it's in the book. It's in
Yeah.
chapter 7.
It was like towards the very end of chapter 7,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that's pretty interesting because he went talking about heroin addicts from Vietnam and then going on about cocaine addicts. It's just like a thing of to show like how fast your brain can process stuff, because some people believe you only can perceive, like you only see what's in front of you and that you can't really process stuff. That ties into your subconscious, I believe they were talking about at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy how you be on autopilot that whole time and you just see something like that, and it makes you think if you can be, subconsciously fucking tricked, or people implant shit in your head. That's out there, but yeah. That's what people do when they watch that TV all day.
Yeah, I mean maybe they're flashing like 33 milliseconds
Yeah.
of like McDonald's ads in between
Yeah,
like your
and makes
soap
you
opera.
crave it.
Yeah. You're like, damn, I
Oh.
could really go for some McDonald's right now. Why is that?
Right. Yeah.
I'd believe
That's
it.
all. But that's all I have.
I definitely believe the
for-
subliminal ads. It's like sometimes you get a really bad craving for McDonald's fries, and you're like, what is that?
For no reason. Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, they put like some type of drug in the McDonald's fries or something for you to be that addicted to them.
Yeah, Blake, if you want to check it out, it's on page 84, I believe it was. They
Oh,
go
okay.
into talking about that. There was it, the cue-induced wanting. That's what they call it.
Yeah, I get a cue-induced wanting.
From external
Or-
triggers.
Fucking, like, I don't know. It's a pretty generic cue, but I always want something like sweet after I have a meal, like a substantial meal. I always want like a little
Yeah.
treat.
I mean, I always want Red Bull. If I just see a fucking can, instantly I gotta go up there and buy it. I need to start doing that. Point and speak or whatever it is. I don't need this. It's bad for you.
Like, what's wrong with this guy? He's like talking to himself, pointing at stuff and
Oh, I do
yelling.
that, man. I do that all the time. So it's okay, as long as you don't argue with yourself. It's okay. You can talk to yourself, just don't argue with yourself in front of
Yeah,
people.
just argue in your mind.
Mhm. If anyone asks you like why you're talking to yourself, be like, sorry, I needed an expert's opinion.
Ew. That'd be like
Yeah.
one of those stupid T-shirts.
That's funny.
Like that like you'd wear as a kid. Be like,
Yeah.
I'm a gamer, eat, sleep, game, or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
I think we got a poster somewhere that says that.
Oh, yeah, there's that one poster that says like gamers don't die, they respawn.
Yeah,
That's true though.
I blocked out the words, so now it just says gamers re.
yeah.
Gamersry.
Yep.
Yeah, gamers re.
Yeah.
So is that Joseph? Joseph's done with it?
Yeah, those were the interesting things that I saw in it that really piqued my curiosity. I liked it, and I'm
It
liking the
spoke to
book
you.
so far. And no, I like it.
Yeah. Have you guys like tried to implement like the stuff you've learned? Like, have you tried like building a habit yet?
Stacking habits. I want to try working on that, like what Blake was talking about. I want to try stacking them together, like good habits. But yeah, I've been like trying. I'm more likely to read when I'm outside, sitting on that futon versus in the bed. It's like if I'm in the room and on the bed, I gotta force myself to do it. But once I get into reading, it's not too bad.
Yeah. I noticed that
Yeah,
like
but-
when I start reading, it usually takes like a moment or two for me. Like I'll read, and the first like maybe like page or two, like my brain is just like off, and then eventually my brain turns on, and I'm
Yeah.
like actually reading.
Yeah, or I'm like wanting to fiddle and fuck with shit or mess with my phone, and it's like I gotta like, no, Joseph, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Focus.
What were you, Blake? Have you tried?
Sounded sounding like Hellblade.
I don't know.
Yeah, the voices.
I don't know if I have any like example of actually using this book. I might have done some accidentally from this book, but I can't name anything that I've done specifically.
Didn't you start making your list in the morning?
I guess
You
I get
doing
back.
that?
Oh well, I did do that, but I don't know if it's actually like if I
Oh, helping.
have
I
used
see.
it. Yeah,
I
I
have
think
to do that.
I guess something that I want to do, I guess I mentioned it sort of offhand, but I need a trash receptacle. Is to sort of start working out more often because I don't know, I have this sort of fluctuating that diet where whenever I'm at school, I eat like less. I just eat like because I'm preparing my own meals, so it's more or if I don't, then I'm going out to eat. So then I go out to eat like once a day or make one thing. You know what I mean? But then when I'm at home, like right now, I eat a lot more often. Also, they always have like snacks and stuff. So it's hard to resist. So I gain weight whenever I come back home. So I need to
I
like,
understand that snacking all the time. I'm always snacking on junk food. I know how that
yeah.
is.
So I don't know. I tried to establish a couple rules that I vaguely I don't know. I follow them sometimes. Like don't eat after 8 o'clock is sort of my like, thing that I've. Seems like an easy rule to follow. Although it depends like how late I'm out and if if that actually comes true.
Our eating schedule's all over the place. We don't have no consistent time that we eat at.
Yeah. Well, Joseph's like gets off at like 10 now, and he gets home like almost like 11. I think
Yeah, I get off
like-
at 10:30,
Yeah.
and then I gotta
Okay.
wait for coverage to come in because it's a fucking gas station. They won't let you just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think last night was it last night? We went to bed like super late, like almost like
Yeah,
almost
because because I made the egg muffin sandwiches, and it takes a while to do all that in the air fryer with the bacon and everything. It took about an hour to cook everything, and we
Yeah.
went to bed at like. I went to bed before you. I was in the bed laying down. You went
You
to bed I
guys-
think at 3.
You ever made a steak in the air fryer?
Yes, I have. It came out really good.
Dude, I didn't know you could do that until like we had steak one night and I wasn't here, and then they saved me one, and they cooked it on the grill, and they were like,
So-
we'll cook yours in the air fryer, and it did turn out pretty good, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what I did is I cook it at 425 degrees for about 5 minutes on each side because I like my medium rare.
I think I did it
basically.
about the same way.
Yeah, and it's
like
just the only
5
thing,
on each side.
it cooks it really nice through. Like, you get
Yeah.
an even cooking. You just
It's like
don't
a
get.
pain in the ass to clean up though.
The
But
air
like
fryer
it,
is that bad.
it was sticking. It was sticking to the air fryer. Maybe I just
What?
didn't like.
So I got like a little. I use the air frying basket I cook on, so it doesn't stick to it. I don't just cook it on a pan.
Okay, okay.
That'll help with it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some pretty expensive like stainless steel stuff
Stainless
too.
steel ones, yeah.
So it's
Okay, yeah.
pretty
These
cool.
were like coated stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like ours. Our pan claimed that we got with the air fryer. They claimed it was stainless steel, and it is aluminum.
Oh,
Don't want to be cooking
Mhm.
on that. Get dementia brain.
Yeah, this is stuff.
I already
Yeah, a
have
lot of
dementia
a lot of
brain,
them
I
are
think.
just like plated or like
Yeah.
sprayed on stuff, and they're not
Yeah,
even
to make
like,
it look like it.
yeah. So these are not
Yeah.
not healthy.
The only thing I don't like, I prefer like steak on the grill is really nice because you get the char on it. It's pretty good. For the
Yeah,
flavor.
there's like attachments where you could. Well,
Yeah.
not so much that, but you could do the
Yeah.
lines, like the sear lines.
Do like what Burger King does. Get that little food marker and just
Yeah,
draw it on
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
like
they do. Is just
you like press it in the
Yeah,
air fryer.
yeah, they artificially put those sear lines on the Burger King burgers. It's funny.
Yeah, it's not even like the Burger King one is kind of bummy because you can tell it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like even close to what it normally looks like.
It looks like it's like spray painted on. But most
Yeah.
fast food places, a lot of their meat is like soy product or vegetables or something like that. It's like very little of it's
Really?
actually meat.
It's
Yeah.
synthetic. So fun fact, Roy told me about this one. If you go get a burger from McDonald's and put it under a UV light, and if you have microscope or
Does it
not,
glow?
there's
Yeah.
fluorescent fibers in it.
Yeah,
You'll see
'cause-
what
fluorescent
fibers?
fibers.
yeah.
Fluorescent fibers.
Fluorescent fibers, like from what?
Well, so they make like to like add to like the texture of like the patties and stuff. They make like
Yeah.
synthetic fibers that they put in the food, and they make like radioactive ones like just so they can make sure that the fibers are still intact, so they can like see it easy. And then so sometimes
like
you
in the
have
lab.
yeah. So it's like all lab like there's lab made like synthetic fibers they put in there to like make the texture taste right.
And it's funny, people talk about they eat all the plant based. It's healthier, and then it's still got all that synthetic stuff in it. When you're better off just eating the real meat.
Yeah, they got a bunch of crap in it. Well, yeah, no, meat's good for you. Meat's not bad for you like people think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the texture of like meat patties from fast food, it's way off of like what actual meat is like. So you know that stuff is like next to no actual
Like
meat in it.
I'll go spend $13 for a pound of bison, and I'll make some burgers, and those are the best burgers you'll ever have.
Mm-hmm.
And I cook them in the air fryer. Yeah, they're really good.
You guys do all your cooking in the air fryer?
Pretty
Yeah,
much
because
yeah.
basically everything. I rarely go
Hey,
upstairs.
So that's the thing. I think we were trying to sell Alex on an air fryer. We were like, it's not like a stupid kitchen gadget. Like it
That's
actually is essential.
It's
Yeah, the one that
amazing.
we
It's so
yeah,
good.
the one that we got is the French door one. Both the doors you can pull them open, and it'll hold like 3 racks. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I wonder if the author will get to air fryers in this
They're
book.
nice.
have it
We're talking about
stacking,
air
have it
fryers.
stacking with like air fryer recipes.
I
Yeah.
probably already do that. I use that thing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
True, it's like you don't even know.
Hey, it's like leveling up on a video game. That's how you gotta look at it. Habit stacking video game level up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that where it's like you give yourself XP
Yeah.
for doing like things, and it's like supposed to be a motivator. I've never tried it. So I
Maybe
guess I could-
yeah. If you successfully stack habits, reward yourself. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Do you gotta give yourself like a 99 skill cape when you like max out or
Like,
something?
I've seen that shit on TikTok. Is like because there's this one like webcomic where the guy is like a really low level fucking. It's like an MMO thing, you know what I mean? So like he starts at a low level, and
Mhm.
everyone thinks he's a little shitter, but he's the only person with the ability to like infinitely grow.
Mm.
So the whole thing is he has to basically train every day and work way harder than everyone else. I don't know, but anyway, it's based off of that. The TikTok guy, he was like, starting at level 1 push up or 10 push ups, 1 XP or some shit, and he's like tracking his level through his uploads. You know.
Oh, I think there was like I don't remember what the phone app was called, but I think there was actually a phone app that did something like that. And you put like your to-do list on there, and you
Yeah.
sign like the difficulty level, and it gives you like XP, and your like character levels up like in the app. I forget what it was called.
That's actually
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It doesn't sound like a necessarily bad idea. Like I said, I've never tried it, but I don't know. It's kind of goofy, but if it
it is
works,
goofy.
I guess.
It is goofy. It's funny though.
Because I mean, a lot of stuff is sort of gamified nowadays. Like a lot of training it's like in the form of a game basically,
Yeah.
but it's actually you get some sort of knowledge or skill even. Out of
Level
it. I
up.
don't know. You level up in the game, and then it turns out in real life it actually helps you. So in this case, it's a little less like, it's a little more obvious what you do. It's not. It's less of a game and more of just like do your task, but and get rewarded virtually,
Hell
as
yeah.
well as get the real life reward. I don't know.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Was I supposed to read those 2 chapters? I didn't read those.
Wait, what chapters?
The 6 and 7.
Yeah, you're supposed to read those.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought we were doing the full sections, like the section 1 and then section 2 and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
I don't know. I didn't
It's all right.
realize. I mean, I read the first 2 like a while ago. I would have I would have done that. I'll catch up. I'll read them. That's why I didn't know about the Coke thing.
Ah,
Yeah,
He
no,
spoiled it.
that's actually pretty good. He did spoil it.
I'll read it and give Brett my rating. I don't know. Or you guys could just tell me what was the other highlights like from the non-Coke one.
Well, hold on. I still have a couple notes and stuff I want to go over.
yeah, he's still got to
yeah.
talk. Well, you got to do your section now. 'Cause
Yeah.
we got sidetracked a little bit.
There's yeah, we talked about like McDonald's and their soy burgers.
Like a
and shit like
podcast.
that. Yeah, we're an ADHD podcast.
Oh well.
There was the one the Diderot effect. Remember the like librarian guy, and then like some Russian princess gave him like a bunch of money for his library collection,
Yeah.
and then he bought like a really expensive robe, and then eventually had to like buy and upgrade everything to make it like match the quality of that robe.
Hey, that's actually fucked up. I feel like if I do that.
It definitely happens to us, like, and the the most recent time like the Diderot effect happened wasn't even from me. It's like my sister got us the air fryer, and then we're like, oh crap, we need like a bunch of different appliances, and so we ended up like buying like a blender,
But blender.
like, yeah, and,
Yeah.
like, and like stuff for she got us the air fryer, and then I think I bought like $60 for like some stainless steel stuff for it, and then we bought like a blender which was like $200, and like we
Yeah.
just
Well,
bought
I
like a
don't-
bunch of purchases.
I
Yeah.
don't
Hey,
even know if the. Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, that happened to me one time. So this is a while ago. Is when I first got my PS4 Pro, and then my buddy was like, "Hey, I got a PlayStation VR headset. I'm selling for like $150, brand new in the box." Like, oh, bet. Just went and grabbed it because I just got the PlayStation. I already know how that is.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to spend money after you've already like if you make
Got the
one
initial
purchase, then
purchase,
it could snowball.
I do that a lot with
Yeah.
my computer. That's how my computer went from like $1,000 computer to like a $2,000 or $3,000 computer.
Yeah, 'cause you,
Yeah,
you
I-
make like
yeah.
one thing. I know. I definitely did that when I was getting into like the 3D printing fucking guns or whatever.
Oh,
I
dang.
would buy like one kit, and I was like, oh, I'm already paying for the shipping for one thing.
Right,
and then-
it just snowballs.
yeah, and now I have a bunch of parts that I don't use, like I haven't built, and I'm just they're just like piles of money sitting there in
Yeah.
boxes.
And before you know it, you got all this tech and whatever you buy. Like I got boxes and boxes and boxes full of computer stuff in the corner. I get yelled at for that too.
And he still can't find like a USB A to USB C cable.
Yeah.
And I
It's
got
like
all these
hoarder
or like
stash.
all my hoarder stash of console games, like the Xbox One games, PlayStation games, all those. Like I'm bad.
It's true.
I get you, bro.
Oh well. But look, I had to fix your computer. What would we have done without all my tech stuff after Bill Gates crashed your SSD?
Bill Gates owes me an
Sure.
SSD. He
I
broke
feel like
my
there's,
SSD.
there's like some conspiracy where
Yeah, no,
he had some
no.
stuff he needed to get rid of, and it was
No, it's
plausible.
It's what happened. Like his computer did a Windows update and it froze, and it literally corrupted the firmware on the SSD controller. Not even the SanDisk utilities that were for that drive could recover it or do anything. It put it in a security frozen state, and
Yeah.
it is in read-only mode.
We tried like
Dang.
everything on it. We could not recover it.
It's
you
fine
guys go
until
Geek Squad.
No, it's
Yeah, I'll
it'd
go
be
to-
cheaper just to buy a new solid state drive than go to
Yeah.
freaking Geek Squad. Honestly.
Yeah, because you can get like a 1 terabyte SSD now for like 60 or
Wait,
70 bucks.
Roy, I thought this is what you do like professionally, bro. Why can't you figure it out?
I don't fix computers. I
You
fix
do computer thing.
user-
You should know everything.
I fix user errors. I help them like navigate.
I've tried like doing a secure format on the thing. It still wouldn't do it. It just locked up the drive. The firmware's corrupted on it.
Besides, Joseph's the hardware person. I'm more of the software person.
Oh, okay.
So he's got to fix all
So
the hardware
that's-
stuff.
You're the perfect pair. You guys combined
Yeah.
to make a robot.
Mhm.
Because
I probably got enough stuff up here to make a robot.
Probably.
There you go. Make a robot.
Let's see. What else was there? There was oh, there's one thing where he said like I guess some psychologists believe that like 50% of the brain's resources are spent on just eyesight, just on like vision and stuff.
Is that real?
I would
What if you're
believe it.
blind?
I'd
If you're
believe it.
blind, are you smarter?
Maybe they got a better
Well,
better brain.
So when my mom, before she passed away, but anyways, when
God rest
she
her
lost
soul.
when she lost her vision because her eye, or when she fucked up her eyes, like she punctured one of her eyeballs and iris came out and then got
What
a
the
really bad
fuck?
infection. Yeah, she
When?
didn't
Like,
this
how
is a
old was
while
she when
ago.
that happened?
She was like, so it's the most stupidest thing. She's opened up a double pack of ketchup and she slipped and her thumbnail went into her eye and it's like,
Holy
bitch.
shit!
I told her, I was like, man, you need to go to your eye. You need to go to the hospital. The color part of your eye is protruding out the side, and she doesn't like going to hospitals because like she got really bad blood infection from when she got was it stethoscope done, where they go and like replace the cartilage in your knee joint and all that.
Yeah.
And she ended up getting staph strep immersed inside of her leg and got a really bad blood infection. So she refused to go to the hospital. And by that time, by the time I finally got her to go a week later, by the time they got her to LaPorte ER, like 60% of her eyeball was dead, and they had to airlift her off. She got like a cornea transplant and all that done, and eyes got infected, and she went blind. But her sense of hearing and heightened. Like you could be upstairs and you say something about her, and she'd hear your ass. It's like, you know, so
Damn.
I like the brain does spend a lot of resources on vision because after she lost her vision, she could hear like a freaking sonar hearing. Like she hear you
Yeah.
outside everywhere. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And have you ever like fallen asleep with like a YouTube video on in the background, and it's like when you're first starting to go to sleep, it's like it sounds pretty silent, but you know when you're like
It gets
relaxing
loud?
and sleeping, so yeah, it starts getting louder and louder because I guess your brain is using more
I-
resources for hearing.
I think last night a Louis Rossman video came on while we were sleeping. That's why I had that nightmare about him kidnapping me.
Yeah, Joseph had a nightmare that Louis Rossman kidnapped him and made him do board repairs.
Who is Louis Rossman? Who is that?
He's
He does Apple board repairs on Apple products. He's cool as
Yeah.
hell. Yeah, you can look him up.
yeah,
I've
he
not
just
seen these
video.
videos.
Hold on.
He's like,
I'll link you a video.
it's like he fixes stuff that Apple won't.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's an
Okay,
angry New
yeah, yeah,
Yorkian guy, so he's always like pissed off. He's like, these fucking assholes. He's
Fucking
like,
assholes at Apple refused to fix
Yeah.
this. They were gonna charge me $2,000, so I
These
did it for
sons of
20.
bitches. And he's like, hey, I'm walking in.
Let me see.
Oh, and there was another thing. He states that like getting rid of the habit. He gives the example. I don't know what chapter this was on. I think it might have been 6 or something. So I don't think you got to this part, Blake. Spoiler,
I have
but
not. Spoiler alert.
he talks about how there was this woman who used to ride and smoke cigarettes whenever she rode, and then she stopped doing both. Like she stopped riding the horses and stopped smoking, and then like after 10 years of not riding or smoking, she got on the horse and she like immediately wanted to like smoke and have a cigarette. Like the craving
Ah.
came up, and he
Yeah.
says that he basically states that like it's pretty much entirely impossible to get rid of like those those habits and those cues and stuff, but
Yeah,
you pretty much just need to like avoid the cues, or I guess
the
probably
thing
like,
that
yeah
like makes you think of the detrimental habit.
or just like kind of like there's probably a way to like desensitize like cues so they don't really do anything for you. I know
Yeah.
when I quit drinking alcohol, one of the things that I did is I would whenever I get really bad cravings for alcohol, I would just take like a shot glass and I would take like shots of like mineral water. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I'd do shots of mineral water, and then eventually I just kind of just like stopped like both, like the cravings kind of went away. So I
Right.
think you can do like a behavioral like replacement. So
Behavioral replacement. There.
yeah, because it a lot of it is like a ritual thing though too, because it's like even if you do, for example, if you're a big like caffeine addict and you switch to like decaf coffee, even if you get huge cravings for coffee, the ritual of like grinding the beans and like doing the pour over and everything for the coffee, like that doing the ritual, even if you don't get the caffeine, is still like it still satiates like that craving.
Yeah.
Like you're still drinking decaf and you don't really get caffeine out of it and stuff, but it's like you still feel like satiated out of it. So definitely helps.
There you go. I linked your video. You can check it out when you get a chance.
And another cool thing that he talked about in the book too was the implementation intention, which is basically like it's kind of like similar to the point and calling, but you state like I'm gonna do this at this location at this time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that was in the early chapters.
It's like you're like a lot more likely to do the thing.
Yeah.
Like they had there was like a study or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you specify exactly like what you're gonna do, it's a lot easier to follow through.
Yeah. You like make a plan.
Yeah. I guess like having a plan just makes it a lot easier for you to act.
Oh, for sure.
On those.
I feel like that's probably the best way, at least for I could see myself that being the best way to start a new habit is like have a time to do something, like a specific time, because otherwise, especially like right now, you know, I'm no school and I'm sort of waiting for an assignment for my job, so I'm sort of just like time is really meaningless to me, like time in the day. I go to sleep and I get tired and nothing else really has a specific time, so
yeah,
I could say I want to do something, but if I don't actually say when I'm going to do it, then the day sort of just disappears, and I'm like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, type of thing. You know what I mean?
I know how that is. You just constantly put it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time's like one of the hard things to manage and stuff.
Especially when you live basically with no windows or anything like that, or you can't see the sunlight, you don't even get a comprehension of what's going on with time. You can sit down and do something before you know it, a day and a half passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the time thing, I think it depends on the person too, because it's like some people are very like orderly and like time is like they like having a strict schedule that they like adhere to. They're like, I wake up at 8 a.m. and then I go for my jog at 8:30 or whatever, and they just like having that structure in their life. But
that helps.
Yeah, but for some people that are more like chaotic and stuff, they just I do things kind of like spontaneously. I'm like, okay, I have to do this stuff, and I kind of just do it whenever. So I think more like habit stacking is just like better for me, because I don't eat at a fixed time like ever. Like I have like lunch whenever the hell I'm like hungry, and so sometimes it's like 10 in the morning, and then sometimes it's like I eat lunch at like 4 p.m. or something. It's like there's no set time, and I've tried like building a structured like life where it's like you wake up and you do this at 8 a.m. and you do this at this time and stuff.
I can't even do that. It makes you all pissed off and sad and depressed. I hate it.
It's too restrictive. It sucks. It's not a fun way to live. But some people like that stuff. So I think just having non-time based cues is like the best thing. Like for me, like, oh, okay, I have my food now. I'm gonna do my exercise before I can eat. It's like that's
I know
the cue that's always
people,
gonna happen.
They will get pissed off if they don't have their food at this set exact time, and then their whole day's ruined. It's like, nah, that's...
Yeah, I hate it. It's too restrictive, and like life is so it's too like dynamic for you to be like what kind of like bubble utopia world do you have to live in that you can wake up at the same time every single day and do the same exact things every single day? It's like, do these people never have like crises that happen in their life, or they never have like, oh, okay, I can't do this anymore because I have to like you know friend's car broke down, I have to go pick them up or something. It's like it's like you pretty much have to live in like a bubble to have a life that's like that orderly.
There's no.
Yeah,
should have my webcam on, or like a good way to do this. I've been cleaning my guns for like the past 20 minutes or so. So
well, dude,
that'd be like good background footage.
That's like your habit stacking book club with cleaning your guns.
Hey,
well,
dude, it's
it
our
rained
super.
today.
Oh, it
That's funny.
rained.
Yeah, so I feel bad. Well, yeah, I feel bad if I don't clean them after it rains because I don't want to. I don't want any rust or
Right.
anything.
Definitely understandable.
I got.
Okay. Do you
I
think
got
that's
chickens, I can't make it.
anybody have any like closing remarks or anything for book
This
club?
is the podcast portion now.
This is the podcast portion. No podcast portion.
No podcast.
Dude, what's that one?
What would we even talk about in a podcast?
I don't even know.
Podcast, you just talk about whatever the fuck.
It's true. Wait, my closing remark is that this section was all about the Q portion of like
Yeah.
the Q craving response reward part,
Yeah.
and so it's just all about trying to set up everything, and it has a huge focus on visualization. Like that's the most important. Like Q is visuals, so it's like trying to, number one, like architecture your own environment. He calls it like your context. So change your environment that you live in to have a bunch of visual cues that do things that you want to do. And then
That goes back to like what you were saying, like having the stuff out and ready to grab and go. Like I was talking about having a book on your bed, and then when you get home, you'll want to read it.
yeah. And then on the other side, like basically hiding and throwing away the bad things you don't want to do, like go hide them in the closet type of thing.
Yeah.
Throw all the plushies in the closet.
Oh no.
No, those are out and open. I don't care.
Yeah, you can't keep them in the closet.
Okay.
I feel bad. I
got-
left some in Knoxville, and then
Oof.
Josephine,
They're
closing
lonely.
remarks?
Not really. I don't know what I close off about.
Okay. Have you liked the book so far?
Yeah, I like it so far. I'm definitely enjoy reading. Well, I guess I can do a closing remark on that. The book's actually, this is the first time I enjoyed reading. Normally, you already know how it is. I'd never read.
That's
wait.
good.
So
I
next
hate
time, are we gonna read the whole next chapter too? Is that the plan?
Yeah, the next like section. So it's like
Okay, okay.
the next
Or the next
part would-
section, yeah.
Yeah, the next section
Okay.
will probably be about like the craving part. So I think he said
That-
make it like
No, yeah, the next one would be, where is it? I got it right here.
because the first one the
second
first,
law, make it attractive.
make it-
Okay, okay.
I wanted to keep wanting to say sexy. I'm like, make
Yeah,
it
that's
sexy.
what I was thinking too. Like,
Yeah,
I thought it was make it sexy. I swear.
I'm
Just
like
make
I'm like
sexy.
it can't be make it sexy. It's like
I don't know.
How
I
many
like
pages is
I like that better. Yeah,
That's like,
Yeah.
so
I like that
let's see.
because it's like a good amount to read before the next meeting.
So that'll
Yeah.
basically be from page 88 to 115.
That's not bad.
No.
I mean, like I said before, I'm reading those like 3 books partly because these pages are usually pretty quick reads. I don't know. It's almost like this book is more of like a handbook. Like you're just supposed to refer to it
Yeah.
whenever like obviously you read the whole thing maybe, but then you sort of come back and revisit chapters or whatever. So I don't know. It's really quick read. So in between now and the next meeting, whenever I'm like, I get the urge to read a book, but I don't want to read ahead with this, then now I got this like boring ass history book to read, and also Stephen King. I don't know.
So sick.
So that'd be from chapter 10. So you'd be reading from chapter 8 to chapter 10. That's not too bad. Or
Okay.
chapter 8 to chapter 10. I said it backwards. That's my dyslexia for you. Sorry about that.
I think I'm gonna end the bookie club
Alright.
recording.
All right,
Does that sound good?
later, nerds.
See you next weekend.
See you.